Sorry. Go on, carry on. Go, carry on. No, go on.
I am.
No, don't change it.
He's changing it. I don't know why I'm arguing it.
We're sorry for this.
This episode has given me a migraine. It's Paul's fault.
It's mental.
And Turkish ain't done himself any favours.
Mate, I can't believe it. How could it?
What's happening, everyone, and welcome to 888 Sport. On this episode of the playlist, we're going to be ranking the best centre-halves to have ever played in the Premier League. I implore everybody to do this without tribalism and simply appreciate the brilliance of the defender. The players that I would love you to rank are John Terry, Rio Ferdinand, Tony Adams, Virgil van Dijk, and Vincent Kompany. Just before we do the reveal, please do us a favour, click subscribe. We are inching ever closer to 100,000 subscribers. Please help us get there. Click subscribe now. Thank you. Everyone set?
Yeah.
Okay, please reveal your boards.
Wow.
Wow.
We got to go here first.
Yeah, that is
Terry Bottom.
Terry Bottom.
Right, allow me to talk through this one. I don't think he's at the same caliber of defender as the other defender. Certainly my top three. I think you're talking about different types of centre half. I think Carvalho was more likely in that list, more comparable to the guys I've got on this list than John Terry. Everyone goes, John Terry, English guy, captain, leader, legend, bad human being, not a great footballer. He scored lots of goals, he was a covering centre half. I just don't think he deserves to be mentioned in the same list as Rio Ferdinand, Van Dijk, and Vincent Kompany.
I mean, none of that is true. That's a great story. He's the best footballer on the list.
Nonsense.
What?
Absolutely.
John Terry's passing range. John Terry on the ball. For some reason, I don't know why, but
Left foot, right foot is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's become this weird story that Rio Ferdinand was the cultured centre half on the ball, brilliant on the ball, and was the one spraying it, and John Terry was this swashbuckling centre half flying into challenges, and it's not true.
No, you're right.
John Terry would start our attacks with his left foot, ball over the top to Ashley Cole with his left foot.
Rio and Van Dijk are better footballers than Terry.
No,
Terry's a top footballer. Terry's a top footballer.
Definitely not Ferdinand. Definitely not.
Rio is the best.
He isn't. He isn't.
Rio
This
strikes the
passing
best
range that I
balance
constantly
of the
hear
lot.
about Rio Ferdinand, I've never seen it.
I think there's I think if you made a list and it had
If you have to look
Jamie
that hard, it's not there.
Carragher, if it had Chris Smalling. What I'm trying to drive at is, I think there's two types of centre half. You've got your commanding centre half, who are your dominant one. They're your cultured centre back, and then you've got your guy who did all the dirty work. And I think John Terry is a dirty work centre half.
Well, so what was Gary Cahill? You're only looking at but you're only looking at the Carvalho partnership, aren't you?
But you lot was a dirty side.
You're not looking at the Cahill partnership.
Was Cahill the left-sided centre half for you?
So no, what I'm saying is you're saying that Terry was the dirty side and not the cultured one with Carvalho.
No, but Paul's talking from a footballing side. I don't ever look at Chelsea as a foot. I don't think Chelsea. No, do you get what I'm saying? Chelsea had two dirty centre backs. Cahill and Terry. Cahill and Terry were two dirty centre backs.
No, but that's not the point. The point that was made was you get two. You get one that does this and
Chelsea,
one that does that. Well, what was David Luiz in that?
David Luiz, that era. Okay, when Luiz was there,
He's good at Chelsea.
Better footballer though.
100%.
100%.
Is Luiz a better footballer than Terry?
Yeah, David Luiz could play central midfield. David Luiz would start our attacks.
So you don't
in the way
think Rio is better than Terry, but Luiz?
John Terry is the best defender on the ball on this list, definitely. Like it's
best
a complete
defender on the ball.
So
yeah.
We don't have to defend when you've got the ball.
No, he's a defender who's on the ball. We're getting.
He's a defender that's on the ball. Nah, I know what you're trying to say, but the best John Terry is not
either
on
I'm
the
going
ball.
insane or you.
John Terry's not the best Premier.
It's not crazy for me to say a defender on the ball. That
no,
makes
you're
sense
talking
to me.
about one characteristic. You're talking about one characteristic and saying that means that's why he's the best out of everyone.
You're saying he's
the best defender on the ball
in the metric of what's he like as a ball player. Yeah. John Terry is the best on the ball.
Yeah, what's the reason for putting him first?
I'm saying he's the best. I'm saying
Virgil van Dijk and Vincent Kompany.
Far better on the ball than all three of them.
So you put the ball at his feet. His
passing range. His passing range.
Those three players. I'm sorry, that's utter nonsense.
It's really.
I'm actually not going to lie. John Terry on the ball is massively underrated. Like,
it's a weird.
Passing
It's
with
not
both
spoken
feet.
about
Like,
enough.
he's
The fact that you brought up Jamie Carragher, who was exactly that,
Yeah,
and
no,
compared him to
he's-
Terry,
yeah,
it
Terry-
makes the argument.
I
like,
think
pointless.
I think he's more similar to Vidic and more similar to Carragher in terms of what type of defender
not true.
he was.
Nah,
And those
nah,
ones.
see, not though.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
not.
Here's the thing. There's a reason why John Terry is second on my list, because I appreciate how
Man
good he
United.
is. No, it's because I know who the best is versus who the second best is. But John Terry is criminally underrated for how good he is on the ball. Like, I do think there is this stigma of John Terry that he's just put your head where it hurts, get knocked out.
No, he's just
you know,
cultured. He's just cultured.
He
was
actually brilliant on the ball. Brilliant on the ball. He wasn't better than Rio on the ball.
He was.
He wasn't better. He is better
was.
than Van Dijk
He
on
wa-
the ball, I would say. And
He is.
He is.
I mean,
He
of course,
is.
he is. He is also better than Rio Ferdinand on the ball.
He's not better than Rio
He was.
Nah,
The passing.
Rio
range
Ferdinand
was
is the most complete. There's a reason why Rio's top. Rio, right, was basically what a lot of centre halves model their game off. Like, he was the first type of defender to be labelled as that kind of Rolls Royce, always in position. Yes, styles do make partnerships. He had the
Leslie
warrior,
King model,
we hardly ever played. We never really saw
Rolls Royce,
but it was unbelievable. But there's other defenders on here that are
He
not
was the
on here.
crossover
Sorry.
from that generation.
Yeah,
to
100%, and that would model their game off of Rio.
Nobody else has done it for as long as Terry on this list. Nobody else has been at the top for as long.
What do you mean top dog?
Yeah, Rio has. John Terry,
Rio-
when he came through, wasn't winning all the time.
John Terry
did
won.
it for
John
longer,
Terry
right?
won a Premier League 10 years apart.
And Tony Adams won a league title in the 80s, a league title in the 90s, and a league title in the 2000s.
I mean, Rio's got way more trophies.
Premier
what are you
League.
talking about? I can't stand you. Rio's more decorated than John Terry.
He's won more.
Yeah,
obviously,
why?
In a way that Phil Neville's won more. In a way that Phil Neville's won more.
No, that's
Not
just
in the way
silly.
that
That's
Phil
not-
Neville's
no,
won
he's-
more.
He's won more.
Not even
He's
slightly
one more
like
being
that,
the main
no.
guy.
He's
one more being the main guy.
John
Not
Terry,
the guy who comes in
John
and fills
Terry,
in.
captain Chelsea. John Terry, captain
you're being
Chelsea.
ridiculous.
I'm not at all.
Being ridiculous.
John
No,
Terry,
because you're doing the
captain
Phil Neville
Chelsea.
thing, that's ridiculous.
John Terry. No, I was just using that as an example to demonstrate the trophies.
No, because Phil Neville wasn't a main guy at any
No.
point in his whole career. We're going pound for pound. Don't bring in the guy from the side. We're going pound for pound.
Okay.
No,
No.
top.
I think we should take trophies out of it. It's fine.
John Terry, captain Chelsea. John Terry, captain Chelsea to a Premier League title.
Yeah.
Retained it.
So did Rio.
10 years later,
Rio was captain in one league.
he didn't captain Manchester United to a.
Champions League.
Okay, mate, I can't speak.
When Terry fell over, mate.
John Terry doesn't
Yeah,
deserve
done.
to be on this list for getting
Rory's
dressed
hurt in this episode, you know.
I'm
trophy.
rating John Terry. He's second on my list.
The
And he's
that
third on mine, but he's
the point I'm
upset.
trying to make is John Terry captain Chelsea to a Premier League title.
Yeah.
10 years later,
Gary
captain
Neville captain does a Premier League title. Sorry. Go on, carry
can't
on.
be
Go,
honest
Gary. No,
with
go
you.
on. Go on.
I'm changing.
I am.
No, don't change it.
He's changing it.
I don't know why I'm arguing it. I can't be he captained Chelsea to the Premier League title, but not as well as Rio Ferdinand captained Manchester United.
But not as well.
Oh God.
We caught live
Wasn't.
one, guys.
Right, so we've got John Terry, the worst centre half out of 5.
That's crazy.
John Terry below Tony Adams. We've got
That's crazy.
The only
you mean,
reason.
bro?
No, can I?
Terry's better than Adams, bro.
Nah,
The
bro,
only
are you
reason-
mad? Terry probably looked up to Adams, bro.
No, he
Yeah,
wouldn't
that's
have.
what
He
I'm.
wouldn't have.
But
So that's why you put him
Adams
in
is
the list.
Adams is the most underrated centre back on this list. Easy, the
I'm
most
sure-
Yeah, the most
underrated.
underrated
Shocked
because
you
they
didn't
get there.
put Sol
Because Van Dijk's the
Campbell
most
instead of
overrated
him.
on it.
But that's part of the whole underrating Tony Adams. Sol Campbell, top defender, class, and you could argue his place in maybe a top 5, top 10. But for me, Arsenal legacy-wise, Tony Adams, in my opinion, one of the 2 greatest captains of the Premier League era, him and Roy Keane. I don't think captain-wise you can match up, and I think Terry's close behind there.
Can I say
Iconic.
something here? Away from this Terry thing. I'm sorry. Virgil van Dijk is not the best ever Premier League
He's the
centre-half.
best
He's
ever
the most.
centre-half.
He's the most ever in the history of football.
In the history.
He's the most overrated centre half I've ever seen. All of a sudden, about protection and the era that Van Dijk plays in, and I see right. He's good. Listen, because people think that you're saying that this guy's not elite. Like you said, to get on the table, you got to be elite. He's an elite centre half. Virgil van Dijk is so overgassed. I can't believe what I'm seeing in this modern day. I can't believe it. That he's put as the top ever centre half ever. It blows my mind. Blows my mind.
Runner up in the Ballon d'Or in 2019 in the Messi Ronaldo era. Runner up. You know what I mean? Like I know runner up. Oh, what did he win? Didn't win it, did he? But like this
I
is.
said this about Frank Lampard finishing second to Ronaldinho, and you dismissed it.
I don't remember doing it.
Tell him, Rory.
Different show, different time. Things get
Liverpool thing. Like, they just rate
honestly, I know, but it's the most Man United thing, really, to be going, oh, he's so over. He's not overrated, is he? He's just not. He's just not. He did a cruciate knee injury in the middle of this and come back, and he's still back.
Because he's elite. He's top.
Because he's unbelievable. He is. I think there's a pathway of footballers, and it goes Sol Campbell to Rio Ferdinand, and then it goes to Vincent Kompany, then to Virgil van Dijk in terms of who have been the best footballing centre halves in the Premier League. I think there's a progression.
Yeah, because you got Terry that like he can't play, but Terry wasn't.
I'm not saying he couldn't play football, but that's not what he was. As much as Rory chooses to remember it, but honestly, like. It's like when you get a goalkeeper who can actually pass the ball, and you think he's the best goalkeeper to ever pass the ball because it looks shocking when you've never had one before. Whereas there's levels. So Terry probably looked like the most cultured centre half in the world playing for Jose Mourinho's anti-football.
So you think if Terry played now, if Terry played for Liverpool under Klopp, well, you think he'd just look out of sorts? I
don't think he would. I don't think we'd be talking about him as this super cultured, wonderful footballer that Rory remembers him. But I want to talk about the disrespect of Vincent Kompany is more than anything else. And is it because he played for Man City? Is that why? Why is because he's the captain? He won loads for Man City, scored a goal, won a league title. Yeah. You know, he's got all the things he needs. Why is he bottom? He's a phenomenal centre half.
The only thing I might change is Adams and Kompany at most, but I just feel like again.
How old are you?
That's what I'm saying. 36.
Yeah, then you know.
But that's why I've got it like that. But I'm saying that's the only possible kind of debate. Like I'm not really.
Don't even entertain it.
To be honest, like Kompany again, he had all their minerals. He was fantastic, but
Tony Adams,
he was still a bit of a brute, just more organisational. Like he wasn't fantastic.
I think Kompany's underrated.
He's top.
He's definitely the worst on this list.
He's not. Yeah, he's the worst on that
list.
Definitely
the worst. There's other defenders that I think deserve to be on this list that are not.
Tony Adams is definitely not bottom. Tony Adams is definitely a better defender than Vincent Kompany. You think of the way that he led that team. Think about everything that he went through as well. You know, people want to bring up injuries and being away and whatever. He was away. He went away, came back, captained the team to a title. I remember back in the day as well when like newspapers used to sell like 4 million copies. The front page of the Mirror as a donkey and all that. Again, bounced back.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like...
Wenger was a lucky man to have Tony Adams.
What about people that like, so you were saying the Cavalios, maybe a Vidic, maybe a Sol Campbell.
Can I tell you one player missing that I could probably argue as number one? William Saliba. No, I'm joking. Jaap Stam, I think Jaap Stam, I could argue number one. Came to the league 3 years, 3 titles, treble winning team. I think
unbelievable.
Jaap Stam, if he had a few more years under his belt, and really, does he need it? Jaap Stam has 3 league titles in 3 years. He has a treble winning Champions League campaign. And
better than a lot of these men on there.
The only reason he got cut short was because of differences.
Stam's better than Vidic. Better than Vidic, obviously. Yeah. He's better than Van Dijk. I mean,
Stam, but he didn't
better than Adams.
He's not better than Adams, I don't think. He's not for his Premier League contribution.
No, that's what I'm talking about. The legacy of how long he's been there, that's what I'm saying. So I'm not saying... But I'm saying if you just say player for player, pound for pound in their prime, who do you want playing?
I think Jaap Stam's
you're going Jaap Stam over a lot of these guys. I think there's a lot of players that can, from the older generation, that can play now, but we just... Because we say that old football was slow and this, that and the other, and it was just kicking people like there was no tactic, we all of a sudden get this sort of recency bias that these older players can't play now. I think it's total rubbish. Like, I think the standard of football now, how amazing we say it is and all these intricacies and highline this, I think it's a load of rubbish. I honestly do. When you look back to football in the past, when it was 4-4-2, as a centre-half, this is my man, this is your man. Not you cover this or cover that. It's true.
Thank you, Mike Bassett, for that.
Facts. I'll do the Mike Bassett thing because I think it's overgassed. This
Rio
whole new
Ferdinand could play in any era of football.
Absolutely.
All of these players
all play now.
If these players were all playing, if these players were playing now, if the 4 players were playing now, they'd be the best centre half in the league.
These guys had to play against look at all of the forwards that were about that. So Drogba, Henry, the Bergkamps, then even the tier below, Jermaine Defoe, Robbie Keane. Then even Phillips got 30 goals and got Golden Boot. Berbatov, top draw strikers. Now, after Harry Kane, when it went Haaland and that, like you got one striker there.
Yeah,
the best striker now is Ivan Toney and Ollie Watkins.
But I think the recency bias works both ways because I think Van Dijk's being disrespected because you've got a built-in like annoyance at having to see him play and get talked about. I think nostalgia will help him in years to come. But also, good centre halves were 10 a penny in the 90s and early 2000s. And you can say they're much more rare now. And why is that? You could like, well, there's not as good. The centre halves aren't as good. Well, actually, what's required to be a top centre-half has changed. So actually, I think there's a lot of guys who made a good career. It's Nat, this will very much appeal to a Liverpool audience, I'm aware of this, but like Nat Phillips would have been a great Liverpool centre-half 10 years ago. Because he's a brilliant defender, he heads everything away, he's solid with his feet, but he's not good enough to play at the top level. And there's loads of those type of defenders.
Nat Phillips would have been what? He would have been.
He'd have been a top centre half 10 if he was 10 years. If he was played 10 years ago.
So in the era of like prime Varane and prime.
Okay, maybe 15
Ramos,
maybe 15 to 20.
and then go back to that prime Maldini. Nat Phillips would have mixed it with him.
I'm not saying that, but ultimately, you know, he cruyffed Ibrahimovic to death in the San Siro. But that's
Nat Phillips.
The point is that I'm making a point is that as an example of just a defender's defender. There was lots more call for them in the early 2000s. There's far less of that these days because you need to have pace, you need to be good on the ball, you need to be good in the air, you need to be an athlete. Like Tony Adams, as an example, could he actually have gotten himself up to the physical and fitness standards? Was Terry fast enough to play in the modern game? Ferdinand, yes, without a doubt. Kompany's only just retired, so yes, without a doubt. I'm not sure.
Terry in this era would be doing this, Rory. Right now, we're doing that.
This is so wild. This is like John Terry.
Easy.
Easy. John Terry played every minute of, and captain Chelsea to the league, played every minute of every game in 2015.
That's wild, Paul. You're saying John Terry can't play now?
He played in 2015.
I think he'd struggle.
It was 2015, playing with modern day players. In 2015, he captained Chelsea, played every single game, every single minute of every single game, and was captain of us winning the league. And now he couldn't play in this era.
That was 9 years ago. It's a long time.
It's insane what you're saying. And then you're saying that Nat Phillips would have been brilliant back then. I can't believe the statements you've made.
Where's Jamie Carragher not on this list, by the way?
William Saliba don't sound too mad.
Sammy Hippier.
He's bringing up oligarchs. You're bringing up Nat Phillips. Like,
I actually rated on Terry. We're sorry for this.
This episode is giving me a migraine. It's Paul's fault.
It's mental.
And Turkish ain't done himself any favours.
Mate, I can't believe it. The Nat Phillips one's crazy.
Mate, the John Terry one. 9 years ago, the geezer played every minute of every game as captain. And won the League Cup, scoring in the final. He scored more goals than anyone. Like,
you've just done the thumbnail. Look, this is the thumbnail right there. You know it already.
My head is hurting.
This episode of Helen Park.
9 years ago, he did that. He's a top goal scoring centre half. His trophy accumulation is ridiculous. And yet, 9 years having captained the club to a league, which is a decade later than doing it already.
And there's no good defenders no more as well.
And there's no good. He probably play now. Oh, you're going to have to wrap up it. I can't.
I'm taking Terry off my list.
Paul's had enough. He's taken Terry completely off his list. Rory's done so bad that he can't even finish the video and outro. We're going to put it to you guys in the comments. Let us know who your top 5 centre-halves of the Premier League eras are. Because I tell you what, we can't decide, which I thought would be a really, really interesting and easy debate to have. We'll see you on the next episode of the playlist. Take care.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see the previous episode, please click the link that is on the screen now.